Shalom, shalom. I want to start off this video giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone that rule well and teach well, while learn his truth, the 100% truth according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the Lord's elect, the 144,000, the men, prophets, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Akwatium, as well, which are you few sisters out there that are sincere in your children. Shalom. And then today's video is going to be a MOTB news update video, and it's going to be building off of this article that I got here that was posted on the People's Voice. And as you can see from the title, it says, Bill Snakes unveils global digital enslavement blueprint. Your identity, bank account, and body must become one, right? And we see what it says from the heading of the article that I read. Yeah, man, and we see that everything that's going on is ultimately leading to the MOTB, man. It's clear as day that this is what's coming, right? Because everything that you see these devils behind the scenes talking about and doing is all setting the stage for what is to come, which is this RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. That's what's coming, right? That's why, as it says right here, this is Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And how is the Lord telling his people of these things before they come? Right, by the way of the prophets. Because as it tells you in Amos chapter 3, verse 7, it says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, right, which are the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone, and the men on down that teach the same doctrine, the truth and sincerity. And we're warning our people of what's coming before these things come, because everything that we see these devils doing is all going to lead to the hour of temptation, man. That's what's coming, right? So I'm gonna get into this article and I'll read it, and then I'll grab a few more scriptures, and Lord's willing, this video is edifying to you brothers and you sisters out there that may come across it. So it says, speaking before an audience of world leaders and tech oligarchs, self-appointed global health czar Bill Snakes openly called for the total fusion of biometric digital IDs, personal bank accounts, payment systems, agricultural surveillance, and centralized health records, framing it as essential progress for humanity's safety and health, right? And you hear what it is that it says from the article, man, right? That's how these devils going to dress this thing up, right? They're going to make people think in their mind that this system that they're bringing about, which is going to bring forward this chip, is going to be beneficial for them. It's going to be, good for them. It's going to be good for their health, their security, all of these various different things. That's what they're going to promise these people, ultimately to make them more comfortable with these changes that are coming, so that ultimately these people will be more susceptible to give in to these devils' schemes, man, right? But as it tells us in 2 Corinthians, right, chapter 2, verse 11, it says, lest Satan, meaning our adversary, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah, us brothers and sisters of the hopeful elect, we're not ignorant of this man's schemes, because ultimately we know what everything that they're setting up and what they're doing, what is all going to lead to, which is the chip. So, hey, we're not ignorant of this man's devices, his plans, his tricks, right? And I'm going to grab that same scripture, but I'll bring it out in the GNT, which is the Good News Translation. It said, in order to keep Satan from getting the upper hand over us, for we know what his plans are, right? And what are the plans of these devils? Ultimately, guess what? They want to establish this new world order, right? And a part of that new world order is everybody being RFID microchipped and controlled and monitored, right? That's what these devils want to achieve, which we know is not going to happen, but that's what they want to ultimately bring forth, which is not going to happen, right? But we know that the RFID microchip, the MOTB, is coming, right? But them chipping the whole world and thinking that everything is going to be under their control and authority, that's not going to happen, because as it tells you in the book of Romans, right, chapter 11, and I'll go to verse 4. But what saith the answer of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, which that number 7 just mean a complete number, which this is going into the elect of Israel. I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal, right? Verse 5, even so then at this present time, also there is a remnant, right? According to the election of grace, man. That's going into the elect of Israel, right? They're not going to be ignorant of the devil's schemes. They're not going to take his RFID microchip, right? Because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be deceived by the words of this devil, man, right? And everything that he's doing, right? Ultimately, those that are not of the elect, which are 2/3 of our people and these heathens, because they're going to be the ones that ultimately take this RFID microchip when it comes, you see? But let's get back into it, right? And I'll go down. It says, Gates praised India's digital public infrastructure as the model the world must follow, declaring it superior even to wealthy nations in its efficiency at tracking and controlling populations. Another place that India leads, but that all of you can be involved in driving forward, is digital public infrastructure. Gates told the gathering, no country is more able to pay government benefits and get them out efficiently and effectively than India. You would expect rich countries to do that, but in fact they did not. So that basic structure that starts with identity and bank accounts and payments is just foundational, right? Bill Gates says the merging of biometric digital ID, bank accounts, and payment systems is needed to safely monitor people's health records, keeping tabs on farmers, and tackling climate problems, right? He continued describing with visible satisfaction how this foundation of total digital slavery is already expanding into every corner of human life. And so, part of this visit, I am now seeing how that foundation is being built out in agriculture with profiles of farmers to understand what they need and give them advice, built out with health records so we can help people not only with infectious diseases, but also the challenge that is coming in the future with the growth of the non-communicable diseases, and the growth of these digital platforms will help us with these climate problems. Translation for those still clinging to freedom. Every citizen will be reduced to a single trackable data node: your biometric ID, your money, your purchases, your medical history, your farm output, your diet, your movement, and your carbon footprint, all merged into one unbreakable ledger controlled by governments and their private partners, right? And eventually that's what everything is going to lead to, right? And that thing that is going to ultimately keep track of you is that chip that they're going to ultimately implant in people's right hand or in their foreheads, right? In order for them to buy and sell, right? That's what's coming, right? And I'm actually go to the book of Habakkuk, right? Or Habakkuk, chapter 2, right? And I'll start at verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And who are those that are on their watch, right? That's going into the prophets, the men of the Lord, those that are watching, right? And we're sounding the alarm. We're warning our people, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, you Israelites, as well as you speckled birds out there. They may look like the heathen, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which makes you an Israelite. We're warning our people of what's coming down the pipeline, man. We're telling you of what's to come before it actually happens, right? We're telling you that this devil, this so-called white man, is going to make it mandatory soon come that in order for you to function in society, you're going to have to take an implantable device the size of a grain of rice. That's what's coming, right? This is where we see everything leading to. Verse 2. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, answered me and said, write the vision, which the vision are the prophecies, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. We're making these prophecies plain upon tables. We're telling our people what the MOTB is, which is the RFID microchip. You see, nothing else. You see, it's the chip, right? Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak it not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Yeah, man, because a lot of our people, this sounds far-fetched to them. They don't believe that this is going to happen in their lifetime, but hey, it is coming, man. Everything that you literally see happening around the world that's going on is all going to lead to the RFID microchip, the MOTB, that prophecy coming to pass. You see, that's why it's no coincidence. You look around the world, you see what's going on. You got all of these different countries all setting up their digital infrastructures, right? You got going on now in Mexico, right? As of 2026, which is this year, before this year is out, they're going to make it mandatory that all payments involving gas and all of these various things is all going to have to be done digitally, man. So a lot of these countries, they're moving in the direction of getting rid of cash altogether, right? Why are they doing that? One would ask themselves, right, is because everything is going to lead to the chip, man. That's why they're doing these things, right? And I'm actually go to Revelations chapter 13, right? And I'll go to verse 16, right? It said, and he causeth all, right? All, because this is going to come upon all the world. This is going to be everywhere. This system, this way of paying for things is going to be worldwide implemented, right? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, right? Which that word in the Greek going into Charagma, which is the microchip, and a right hand on their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Yeah, man. And we got to constantly keep going over this because, hey, this prophecy is very important, man, and it's getting ready to come. That's why we're going to keep sounding the alarm and warning our people about this thing because, hey, it's very important, man. Hey, the time is coming where this thing is going to be implemented, man, where this thing is going to manifest itself, you see? So with that being said, Lord's willing, I pray this video be edifying. I'm not going to make it long, just a quick hit through the spirit. With that being said, we're going to end it off giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the Lord's elect. Shalom.